Coming up on Green Bay Nation, the Packers eke out a win in Carolina and still have a shot at the postseason, but will be without a key defender when they take on the Vikings. All that and more next on Green Bay Nation. Hello and welcome to Green Bay Nation. I'm Lauren Helbrecht. Joining me to chat everything Packers, he's a Packers beat writer for the Green Bay Press Gazette, Ryan Wood, and he's a radio host for 107.5 and 1400 The Fan, Marcus Eversole. Gentlemen, we have breaking news today here on GVN. Jair Alexander will not be suiting up for Sunday's game against the Vikings. He has been suspended a week because of his antics against the Panthers, deciding that he should be a captain, going out there and nearly fudging the whole coin toss. What was your reaction to the news of the suspension?
My reaction was initial surprise because you don't often see teams suspend players on their own. But then after seeing the headline and reading the statement, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders and thought he had to be disciplined. You can't just have players doing whatever they wanted. Now, the infraction itself can seem kind of innocent. They did get the coin toss correct. And the ref was in the Christmas spirit, I guess, and kind of saved Jair from what would have been a complete disaster. But let's face it, that game came down to 1 second. Had Bryce Young been able to snap the ball at the end, spike it, we're talking about overtime, and who knows what would have happened for the rest of the game. So that was nearly a catastrophic mistake. Bottom line, Jair Alexander had to be disciplined for what he did.
My reaction was that it was quite bold because this is a team that knows where it's at and knows who it's going to be playing this week, and that's all the playoff implications. This is win and you're a good spot for that 7th seed in the NFC. Lose and you're basically out. And when you're playing the Minnesota Vikings, who do you have to take care of? It's Justin Jefferson. This team still remembers week 1 last year when they didn't shadow Jair Alexander against Justin Jefferson. And then when they did later in the season, Justin Jefferson had 1 catch for 15 yards after torching him week 1. It makes a big difference. So for it to be this bold, my reaction was, there's no way this is just the coin toss. There has to be something else going on. And we're not in the rooms. We're not in the meetings. We don't know what's going on. But Matt LaFleur did say today it's never one thing. So this is a culmination, and it got to the point for the Packers that even this week, even against this opponent, they felt like there was at this point no other choice but to suspend Jair Alexander.
And we won't get too ahead of ourselves talking about this Vikings game. We do have to recap Carolina, but this Alexander antics happened right at the beginning of the Panthers game, and that was just the start of the defensive problems. 3 weeks in a row, opposing quarterbacks absolutely torched Green Bay's defense. The Packers pull out a win in this one, 33-30, but it was against the Panthers. I mean, what's going on with this defense?
Nothing good right now. I mean, it's that simple. Nothing good right now is going on. For the longest time this season, the run defense was the biggest problem. But the pass defense was okay. They could rush the passer, and they were better on the back end than they were up front against the run. And then these last few weeks, Lauren, you said it, consecutive weeks, Tommy DeVito, career game, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Dude just got benched. And 2 weeks ago, he was Offensive Player of the Week for what he did to the Packers. Last week, Baker Mayfield, perfect passer rating. This week, Bryce Young has by far the best game of his career. Now, he's got talent as the number 1 overall pick, but show me all the examples of him showing that talent this season, excluding Sunday against the Packers. He looked like a different player. It's one thing after another, and right now the vibes on defense, there's nothing good.
And all those things point in one direction, and that direction is that this is a defense that right now is rudderless. There's no steering here. We saw Joe Barry last week. He looked like a man that knew exactly what was up, and these are his final games as the Packers defensive coordinator, and he's finishing out the season because there's not a better option on staff to promote within for an interim tag. And if he knows, everyone on that defense knows. And they look like a defense that knows that there's no steering. It's not going to magically get better. There's no Wonderlic solution that can just get everything back in the right direction during the course of these final couple games. This is what it looks like when you don't have a rudder.
So no rudder, but a win. But at this point in week 16, is the expression, a win is a win, is that good enough anymore?
I mean, it's an interesting question because I feel like a win is something that we've said about Packers teams in recent years, where when expectations are sky high and then they have a bad week, and then at the end they win what's otherwise considered an ugly game, and you're left saying, well, a win is a win. And I don't think this season was like that, if that makes sense. But right now, they're in the position where they can still make the playoffs. And as ugly as it was, yes, a win is a win. All that matters right now are wins and losses.
Because of that, I'm going to be emphatic. Absolutely, a win is good enough because there's nothing else. It's winning and losing, and this is a team that ever since it beat Kansas City to go to 6-6, it's been all about can they get into the playoffs, give this young roster some really meaningful playoff experience going forward. They're in that position. To do that, you got to win. So however it's done, good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. They have to win last week, and they did. They got to figure out the same way for these final two games against the Vikings and Bears.
So I always try to end this block on a high note, and his name is Jordan Love. Another great performance from number 10. I mean, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns, good game management. He was winning despite the defense and despite the injuries on the offense. What impressed you most by Jordan Love's performance?
I mean, there's so much that's been impressive about Jordan Love, but I just want to point out that I don't think we can lose track of the fact that this is the youngest set of receivers in the NFL. I know some people are sick of hearing about how young they are, and at this point of the year, no one's a rookie and all that. Fact of the matter is, he's playing with a bunch of rookies and second-year players right now, and at less than full strength. No Christian Watson, no Jaden Reed on Sunday. Dontavian Wicks gets hurt during the game, so Romeo Doubs steps up. They're still without Luke Musgrave. Tucker Kraft has another big game. It's just like a lot of the quarterback and his pass catchers, codependent positions. You can't have one without the other. But with Jordan Love so far this season, a lot of moving parts around him, all young guys. He keeps finding ways to get it done.
A lot of moving parts, and so much of it hasn't gone according to plan. This was the healthiest Aaron Jones has been since week 1. Jordan Love throws a touchdown pass to Dontavian Wicks and then loses Dontavian Wicks. Doesn't have Christian Watson, doesn't have Jaden Reed. He hasn't had David Bakhtiari since week 1. The thing that was most impressive with this game is the thing that's been the most impressive all season, and that's he hasn't been barricaded with his full support as a quarterback, and yet he's to this point. He's found a way to get it done anyway. The good news, I don't expect the defense to magically recover, but the good news, this is an offense, the way it's clicking right now, that has a chance to win shootouts.
All right, when we come back on Green Bay Nation, it's another primetime game with major playoff implications. The Packers will ring in the new year at Minnesota, a rematch of Week 8. That's next on Green Bay Nation. Welcome back to Green Bay Nation. Lauren Helmbrecht alongside Ryan Wood and Marcus Eversole. 7-8 versus 7-8. Time for a New Year's Eve matchup between the Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. This will be a rematch of Week 8 when the Vikings beat the Packers 24-10. Now, a lot has obviously changed in these last 2 months. Mostly Minnesota's team. They don't have Kirk Cousins anymore, and TJ Hawkinson just got injured. But Justin Jefferson is back. So, Ryan, how do you think this Minnesota game will differ from the one in Week 8?
Well, the easy answer is no Kirk Cousins starting, right? And Justin Jefferson was on IR the first game, and the Packers had Jair Alexander. Now it's the inverse of that. The Vikings have Justin Jefferson, Packers don't have Jair Alexander. I think the biggest change, though, is this Packers offense. That first meeting came before this resurgence that we've seen, and quite possibly was the worst game of the season for the supporting cast around Jordan Love. I had him for 8 drop passes in that game alone. It looked really bleak, and Jordan Love talked about the turnaround from then to now, today in the locker room, and he said point blank, we're a much better offense than we were then, and he's right. I mean, eyeball test, they're a much better offense. They're going to need to be with this defense. They're going to need to be a much better offense, but they certainly have the playmakers and the quarterback to be able to do that.
Injuries have hit both of these teams pretty hard, so it'll be interesting to see who even suits up realistically in this game. All right, Week 17, Packers still have a chance to make the playoffs, which was exciting when you think about it. I mean, there's games to be played. It's not just, hey, let's see how the young guys can do. There's stuff on the line here. But the Vikings also have a chance to make the playoffs, even though they don't have a quarterback. Both teams are kind of outside looking in with that final wild card spot. So, Marcus, what needs to happen for the Green Bay Packers to get that 7th seed in the NFC wild card?
Simply put, they need to win. And I know that there are scenarios where they don't need to win their final 2 games and they can still get in. And I've seen some people tweeting that out, and it makes my head spin, and it's just not going to happen. They need to win. They need to win their last 2 games. And if they win their last 2 games, again, it's not 100%. There's no guarantee they get in. But depending where you're looking, 95% chance they get in. Bottom line, if the Packers beat the Vikings in Minnesota Sunday night, and then they follow it up with a win over the Bears at Lambeau in the regular season finale, they're going to the playoffs. If they win their final 2 games and don't get in the playoffs, I don't know, with technology, take a screenshot of me saying this right now and I will eat it on live TV. If they win their last 2 games, they are going to the playoffs. It's that simple.
Is he going to actually eat the piece of paper, Ryan?
I sure hope so. So you're telling me there's a chance, Marcus? You're telling me there's a chance?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I want to see Marcus eat a piece of paper, honestly. All right, so the Vikings, they're without his true starting quarterback, but they would love nothing more than eking their way into the playoffs and bumping out the Packers on the way out. When we come back, we're heading to Green Bay's locker room to hear how this team is gearing up for 2 weeks straight of must-win games. That's next on GBN. Welcome back to Green Bay Nation. I'm no math whiz. I do know one thing about playoff percentages, though. If the Packers win, their likelihood shoots way up. Right now, Green Bay is sitting at about 29% chance of making the postseason. With the win on Sunday, that goes up to 60. Winning these next 2, it's all the way up to 96%. So Green Bay knows they need to win. But are they up for the challenge? It's time to get in the zone. Cameras there.
Well, a win is a win, right? Well, you can have that approach against a 2-12 Carolina squad with the worst record in the league. But when you're entering a matchup against a team with the playoffs on the line, being just good and hoping to squeak out a win isn't good enough.
I mean, I think, it's team sport. It's always, you're trying to find that mesh of, all right, what does the offense need to do to win? What does the defense need to do? And, you just got to play off how the game's going. But I think the mindset for the offense is always trying to put up as many points as we can. And just make the game not even close, try and help the defense out in any way we can. And I think it's all about control. We control, and what can we control is how many points we put up.
Biggest focus is winning the ball. We made a real big emphasis on that the last few weeks. Win the ball, win the game, and that's kind of where our head's at.
I think just details and just communication. I think we know we played them once before, so we got some tape to watch, and obviously they got a pretty good defense, some veteran guys over there. And I think it's more about making sure that we're on top of our stuff, making sure we're in the right place, making the blocks, and not kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, if you would.
If this Packers squad wins out, they have over a 90% chance to make the playoffs. And of course, just one game at a time, you have to think that way. But going into this week especially, guys, what do you think the biggest focus should be?
All right, time now for Q&A with Green Bay Ryan Marcus. What is it? What do they need to focus on to make sure that they can beat the Vikings?
Well, they better figure out a way to slow down Justin Jefferson. Minnesota's quarterback situation may do some of that themselves, but frankly, it hasn't really mattered. The Vikings have put up huge numbers offensively, regardless of who's throwing the football. And right now, this Packers defense hasn't been able to stop Tommy DeVito or Bryce Young. So whether it's the rookie Jaron Hall or Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, they're probably going to like their matchups, and they're going to want to get the ball to Justin Jefferson. If nothing else, this positive of the whole Jair Alexander thing, we won't be able to criticize Joe Barry for not having Jair cover or shadow Justin Jefferson because he's unavailable. I'm really reaching for positive. The Packers need to find a way to slow down Jefferson, though.
I don't want to be repetitive, but how can I possibly say anything other than slowing down Justin Jefferson? I mean, that's the whole key, especially without the Vikings having T.J. Hawkinson potentially. How do you the whole game plan is Justin Jefferson, right? I don't see it happening without Jair Alexander, because I watched the 2 games last year. So I guess the biggest thing is Jordan Love, Packers offense, score all the points you can. Just score every possession, end zone. That's the best way to win, because you're wanting to win a shootout.
Do we think we'll see a Preston Smith lined up against Justin Jefferson in this game?
Well, I sure hope so.
I mean, he's their 4th best corner right now, so maybe.
Potentially. It's all about the defense to me. Obviously, the Packers offense needs to score because the team that scores more points wins, but is that really something that you could put on this Packers offense that's dealing with so many injuries?
Well, and another guy, too, Ty Chandler, their running back, had a breakout game a couple weeks ago against the Bengals. Wasn't able to get going against the Lions, but there's this thing. The Detroit Lions can stop the run. The Packers still can't. I'm just saying, Ty Chandler, know the name.
Keep an eye out. All right, when we come back, it's time for Challenge or No Challenge, presented by the Good Guys Heating and Cooling. Week 17, Ryan and Marcus, will they agree or will flags hit the floor? That's next on Green Bay Nation. Welcome back to Green Bay Nation. Ryan Wood, Marcus Eversole, and Lauren Helmbrecht. Time now for Challenge or No Challenge, presented by the Good Guys Heating and Cooling. Week 17. We only got 2 more of these. If I say something you agree with, nothing happens. If you disagree, the flags hit the floor. Sound good? Ready to go? All right, so we talked about it in the last block. The Packers have to score points in this game because the defense is just not cutting it. So I don't have a lot of faith. I'm not talking 45. I'm going to be pretty middle of the road. So challenge or no challenge, the Packers put up at least 21 points against the Vikings.
No challenge for me. I mean, the Vikings defense is a lot better this year. They made a change at defense coordinator from last year, getting rid of Ed Donatel and replacing him with Brian Flores. What a revolutionary concept. They've got a good defense, but the Packers offense is humming right now. I mean, the last month or so, they've been amongst the best offenses in football. They're going to score at least 21 points.
God, they should hope so, because they're going to give up 21 points. So they want any chance in this game. I'm not challenging. They got to get over 21.
I like your logic there. All right, Christian Watson didn't practice today. He really wants to get back out there. He told us how many different medical things he's tried just to get himself back on the field. 2 games left. Challenge or no challenge, Christian Watson suits up and plays against the Vikings.
I'm not going to challenge that. I have no idea, but I'm going to say Christian Watson plays. Question mark?
You know, I'm not going to challenge either. I wouldn't say I have an idea so much as just a sense. He practiced, he didn't practice today, but he stretched with his helmet on. He looks like a guy, he's missed 3 games, missed 4 games with last hamstring injury. He looks like a guy that might be nearing a return. And if he can go in this game, he needs to go.
All right, Rashawn Gary is on a 3-game streak without a sack, so he's due. The Vikings quarterback situation is weird. They don't even know who's going to be playing against the Packers. So challenge or no challenge, Gary sack in Week 17.
No challenge. If Rashawn Gary's playing, I expect him to have a sack. And I'm a firm believer in the law of averages, regression to the mean, progression to the mean. He's too good. 3 straight games without a sack, he's due. Law of averages, he's due.
Yeah, I want to throw these flags for you, Laura, because I know it makes you happy when I throw these flags.
I do enjoy the
sometimes
flags.
3 at a time. But there you go, Marcus.
That's a late challenge.
Help.
That doesn't count.
The Rashawn Gary on the fast track, the turf. The last time he was on indoor turf, Detroit, he had 3 sacks, right? I think he gets 1.
All right, so not a lot of flags on the floor. When we come back, it's time to wrap up the show and get green and bold. There's your flags there. Stay tuned. Time to wrap up the show here on Green Bay Nation and get green and bold. Ryan and Marcus, Packers, Vikings, Week 17. Who do you have winning?
I almost want to pick nobody to win and pick a tie because they're in the exact same situations and both unpredictable teams. I'm going to go with the Vikings, though, because I don't have any faith in the Packers' defense. I think
You told me the Packers earlier. You're
I changed
mixing
my
it
mind
up.
in the text conversation. Check it. I don't know. Someone's going to win.
You got receipts? I was really struggling with this because neither of these teams are good. I was really struggling until Jair Alexander got suspended today. I'm like, okay, who's going to cover Justin Jefferson? There's no answer. So I got to take the Vikings.
I like the Packers offense going into this one. I have Green Bay winning. Obviously, we don't really know what's going to happen in Week 17, but stay tuned to watch out. That's it for GBN.